right, welcome back to Fanon International Boxing. This is your boy Fanon, and let's talk about Manny Pacquiao knocking out Errol Spence Jr. in 6 rounds. That according to Nonito Donaire Sr. Man, Nonito Donaire is Sr. His dad. It's not the boxer. It's his father. But still, definitely riding real hard for Manny Pacquiao, like a lot of Filipino boxing fans are. And honestly, man, I find the thing to be absolutely hilarious. So, what did he say? He says when he fights a guy with speed and power, talking about Errol Spence, he said, "We'll see. I think Manny will knock him out in the early rounds, maybe in the first 6 rounds. That's the most." All right, so this is a big fight that's coming up in about a month and a half. I think it's in early August, late August. And it's going to be in Las Vegas, and it's between Errol Spence Jr. and Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao is somebody that is deserving of a lot of respect in the boxing world, without a doubt. He's a 7-division champion, and I'm saying 7 because that's the actual number. I'm sorry, we don't follow just what anybody says. When people start talking about records, we go to BoxRec and start researching and looking to make sure that these numbers are accurate. So when you do that with Manny Pacquiao, you'll find that he held a major championship belt in 7 divisions, and that is a lot of divisions. It's not 8 because the 8th that they're claiming is the 140-pound division in a championship fight that he had against Ricky Hatton for the IBO belt. The IBO belt is not a major championship belt. So anyway, it's 7 major championships, and that's a lot, right? And as a result, he has people in the Philippines that are going to ride with him till the wheels fall off, and I can appreciate it. However, when you say that Nonito Donaire is going to when you say that Manny Pacquiao is going to KO Errol Spence Jr. in 6 rounds, it comes out sounding very much like a casual boxing fan. Like somebody that has really not paid attention to either one of these guys in several years, because here's the problem with this prediction of a 6-round knockout. Manny Pacquiao has only had 1 KO in the last 8 years. That's 1 KO in the last 8 years. What in the world would that makes anybody think that Manny Pacquiao is going to beat Errol Spence Jr. by knockout? It doesn't make any sense when lesser fighters have gone the distance with him. Keith Thurman went the distance with Manny Pacquiao in his last fight. In the fight before that, Adrian Brawner went the distance with him. Now, he did get a knockout against Lucas Matisse, and Lucas Matisse is old. He was an older fighter, man, and he's already washed up. But anyway, so he did knock out Lucas Matisse, but he didn't knock out Jeff Horn, and he didn't knock out anybody since that he fought before Lucas Matisse that he fought since, I do believe, 2013, which was before the Floyd Mayweather Jr. Manny Pacquiao fight. So the idea that just off that alone, that Manny Pacquiao is going to knock out Errol Spence in the early rounds tells me that Nonito Donaire's father, and I do not believe he is a casual boxing fan at all. No way. But there is a chance that he's only paying attention to what his son does, Nonito Donaire, who, by the way, is making a nice comeback these days, with his, I thought, a very, very good comeback fight against Monster Inoue, where he exposed Monster Inoue. But you can just absolutely get out of here with that, with 6 rounds. And even Manny Pacquiao himself will tell you, and has said recently, that this fight is most likely going to be the toughest fight of his career. And it should be considered the toughest fight of his career, because this is a time where he's fighting someone, number one, who is a real welterweight. Errol Spence Jr. is a real 147-pounder. He is not draining, coming down from weight or over the hill. So, and that, if you look carefully at Manny Pacquiao's record, that is who he's been able to beat at, at 147 pounds is guys that have been either not the best or guys that are, and mostly guys that are moving up in weight. Even Floyd Mayweather Jr. is not a natural 147 pounder. Adrian Brawner is not a natural 147 pounder. Keith Thurman is a natural 147 pounder though, but he'd been out of the ring for 2 years and he looked suspect in the fight that he had right before that with the Riverside Rocky, Josecito Lopez, when Josecito Lopez looked like, despite getting caught early on and getting knocked down, looked like he was really putting it on Keith Thurman. So this is a completely different type of fighter that he's fighting, and I'm sorry. I think that it will be the toughest career, and honestly, I think if there's anybody who's going to get knocked out in this fight, it's going to be Manny Pacquiao getting knocked out. Even though I must say that I do believe that it is going to go to the distance. Now, there is a way for Manny Pacquiao to win the fight, and I do believe that these are the reasons. The number one, I'm going to tell you what the reasons are that I think that Manny Pacquiao believes he has a shot, and then how he can actually go about doing it. I think that he believes that Errol Spence Jr. has lost a step because of the car accident and because of the way that he was training before the car accident. And specifically, this is something that Nonito Donaire brought up when he said, "Look, Errol Spence Jr. didn't knock out Danny. He didn't knock out Danny Garcia. He didn't even hurt Danny Garcia, right? So they're probably thinking or relying on some slippage going on with Errol Spence Jr. as far as how much is left in the tank from him after that car accident." But I am not confident that I think he's gonna wind up looking at somebody that is in a lot better shape this fight than he was for the Danny Garcia fight. But this is the way that I think that he has an opportunity to win the fight. If you guys have ever played basketball, like the older you get, you learn these old man tactics, right? In basketball, you learn how to, you play in spurts, right? You may rest on offense, play good defense, right? Then one time, if you want to score, you may rest on defense and then get off, on offense. You may go down low, body the guy, try to trip him, muscle him, do things that are just really push the edges of the rules, but where you can use your experience, your strength within the act and the athletic abilities that you still have. You can take advantage of those and those specifically in order to take advantage of maybe a younger guy that doesn't have as much experience. So in boxing, what you see when people do this is like trying to win the first 30 seconds of a round and trying to win the last 30 seconds of a round, and then rest for the 2 minutes, in between. So Manny Pacquiao could jump out at the beginning of a round, let his hands go, have Errol Spence Jr. on the retreat, right? And then after that, 30 seconds, and he gets that little flurry off and is ahead on the rounds, then he'll just kind of float around, try to waste time, try to buy time throughout the round, and then in the last 30 seconds of it, he may attack Errol Spence Jr. again. If you can do that successfully, then you can win a round, right? You win the first 30 seconds, you win the last 30 seconds, and you stall out, and you stall out the other guy for the 2 minutes in between. You could even throw in there some hand waves to the crowd to get them to yell and all that good stuff. If he is able to do those type of things, then he's got an opportunity to beat Errol. However, I've already seen Errol Spence I've already seen Errol Spence deal with somebody that was trying those same tactics in Mikey Garcia, and it didn't work that well because Errol Spence Jr. will keep pressure on you and will be throwing punches at you and keeping himself within a nice distance to always connect with you so that there are no major rest periods. And even in the Mikey Garcia fight, when Mikey Garcia tried to rally in the last 30 seconds, Errol Spence Jr. just backed up off of him, and it was impossible for Mikey Garcia to do anything until he came into range. And if he came into range, he was getting hit as soon as he came into range. So all in all, I appreciate Nonito Donaire Sr.'s viewpoint on this fight, and I definitely love, the fact that you got a whole country of people, or at least the boxing fans from that country that are willing to ride with and be respectful to Manny Pacquiao. But the prediction of a 6-round knockout, based on speed and power, I can't see that at all. Otherwise, he'd have been able to get out. He would have got somebody else other than just Lucas Matisse out in the last 8 years. Anyway, that's my take on the matter. Make sure to share, like, and subscribe the video. And with that, I'm out. Peace.